Circle back. Loki's face palming in the background. I don't get to work with Jorgamonder as much as I want, but he's Mommy's little noodle loaf, and I love him to bits. And Loki's just face palming because he's this big, majestic serpent god. God of all serpents and reptiles, as far as Mommy is concerned. And she calls him Noodle Loaf and pats him on his head. Loki's like, I don't think you're getting the concept here. But I told you guys about that 12-foot snake that Loki had seen and he really liked, and he has to decide. And Noodle Loaf saw it. In case you don't know, I mean Jorgy. And Jorgy saw it, and Jorgy's like looking at it. And I have a really relaxed relationship with him now. When I first met them, the kids weren't too fond of me because they have experienced a lot of people running up to Loki and then running up to them. And the children are a lot more reserved than Loki is, in my experience. And Jorgy takes a while, at least in my experience, to warm up to people. And when they do, they're a little noodle loaf, and they were hanging out with me today, and we were watching snake videos, and the snakes were drinking water and being cute and doing explores and everything else. And I love snakes. I just can't properly care for a snake, especially in Pennsylvania. It's freaking cold 6 months out of the year. It wouldn't be fair for me to try to get a snake. So he was looking at this snake too. 12 feet of snake. Plush snake. I can't get a real one, unfortunately. And he thought it was the most beautiful snake in the world. And I looked at him and I'm like, oh, you finally warmed up. You're finally asking for something. This is the first time Jorgy ever asked for something. So, I thought, well, that could have all been my imagination. And I woke up this morning to a dream. You know, that dream you have right before you wake up. And the All-Father had, decided to be smart. Sometimes he likes to dress up as Gandalf because he's sassy. And he dressed up like Gandalf, and he brought Noodle Loaf with him, and he was reminding me to spend every day. Apparently the one I've felt that really enjoys the undersea game that I've spent now 25 hours in is Jorgamonder. I was thinking it was Njord. I was thinking it was one of the other, Norse sea gods. Noodle Loaf likes it. Look, he's bigger. Don't call him that. He's a big, strong Gara. I don't know. I go to pieces when I see them. I know they're gods. I know they're extremely intelligent gods, but I just go to pieces, and they're Mommy's little babies. I baby talk him, and I baby talk Finmer. I baby talk Slippy. And they weren't thrilled with me at first, but as we spent time together, they were fine. I would say if you haven't met them yet, maybe let them approach you, or let Loki have them approach you. Loki was the one that was like, okay, it's finally time. Either they're gonna like you or they're not. So it's definitely a thing where now when he wants the attention, he'll get the attention. But if he decides again that he wants to be off on his own, because he tends to do that a lot, then I won't push it, because this is Jorgamonder. I'm not gonna fight with him. He's still Mommy's little baby. And we were talking about the sea game, because there's this one part where it just drops away and it looks like you're gonna go into the deep sea trench, because it just, boom, all of a sudden you're out over nothing. He likes that part. That part's nice. So, look, he's back here. You're gonna turn him into a big cuddle baby, and then what are we gonna do? I don't agree with the theory that we have to make them into big monstrous creatures. They're just little cuddle babies. I feel that the way you treat a god, once they realize that's legitimately how you feel towards them, and you're not making fun of them, or you're not, not recognizing that they're a god, they're fine. Jorgamonder is very happy to be Mommy's little noodle loaf, and look, he's just back there like, oh my god. He's not Noodle Loaf, that's Jorgamonder. That's the real serpent. I'm like, yeah, he's Mommy's little noodle loaf. Look, he's like, And, you know, Jorgamonder is really sweet and gentle, and Fenrir, after he gets over the I have to be Mr. Tough Wolf act, he can be really sweet too. And Loki's just like, and Hel just smiles because Hel finds it amusing. She's like, I think Dad's hair's turning gray. This is so cool. Keep it up. Hug the puppy wuppy. Loki's in the back like, oh my god, it's not Mr. Pupper Wuppers. Ephemeral, once he gets to know you and he decides he likes you, they're all of the children are very loyal and loving, like Loki, and he likes to sass Daddy with it. He's like, "I'm Mr. Pupper Whoppers, look, I'm a dumb puppy," and he does that thing where dogs do it, but wolves usually don't do it, where they get that dumb look on their face, and Loki just sighs. So yeah, the kids came and the kids cheered me up. It was really sweet. They really seemed alarmed that I went through what I did, and Jorgy wanted to make sure I was okay, and Fenny wanted to make sure I was okay, and Hel made sure I was okay, and Slippy made sure I was okay, and I appreciated it because I went through months and years where they really didn't need to have anything to do with me, but eventually they warmed up. I think that they have the unfortunate luck that a lot of times they get extremist around them. You know what I mean? You know, the twitchy edgelords you've met that serve some of them. And they're very reluctant sometimes to come forward to meet humans because they don't know what you want. And I think they're actually highly amused, and they like the fact that I really don't want anything with them. If they want to come and be with me and hang out in VR or talk together or do whatever, we can do that. But they don't have to come be my big badass companion because they're giant wolves and snakes and hell and Yeah, I wouldn't make it as one of those heathens that they're like, I was watching this guy, and you do you, man, but he's like, oh, real heathens don't ask the gods for anything. We do it all ourselves, and he's like pounding his chest, and Odin's in the back. He's like, yeah, just wait till he needs something. And Odin shook his head. He says, these people say in public that they never ask us for anything, but the first moment something goes wrong, the adage, there's no atheist in foxholes, applies. Once stuff really hits the fan, they go to the gods too. And he's like, don't you think they don't? They just like to posture and bluff and lie to people. And they're not too good at it either, because if they didn't need us, why would they serve us? And I said, you know, I think a lot of these people are fancy dress atheists. They like the idea of being able to dress up like Vikings and wear jewelry and act like a badass, but then they don't actually have to worship the gods and work with them, because if they did, they'd get their ass kicked on a daily basis. And they'd learn to pray really fast because they'd be praying for mercy. What did I even do this morning? You need to toughen up, princess. Today's toughen up lesson day. So yeah, actually, everybody's been pretty chill today. They've been really sympathetic. That guy really freaked me out. The puppers are supposed to come tomorrow, so we'll have puppers tomorrow. Hopefully, hopefully. Today, another one of the books come. It's the Manatee book. And my allergy medication is coming, so hopefully that helps, because I've developed an allergy to things I didn't have an allergy to before. And I'm, dang it, I must need to change my medication around. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. I promise, guys, I gave Jorgy my word of honor that if I do get that gift card or I do get the money some other way, I will get him the plush snake. It's 12 feet of snake. He's absolutely enchanted that there's 12 feet of plush snake. It's actually 12 feet. I'm not misreading that, because I've seen pictures of it. People like wrapped it around giant banisters and everything. It's 12 feet of snake. There's a lot of snake here. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.